thank you, Ghazal and Ahmed and Pamenar, for making such a beautiful object. So as Ghazal was saying, this was a collaboration with Anne Waldman, who unfortunately can't be here, but we have her voice, which I will be playing and reading with. I'm going to read a section from the preface of the book, and then parts of the poem. Notes at Midnight, a hypnagogic efficacy. In the roundness of dreaming, there is an acknowledgement of the beauty of plot, but a greater consciousness of randomness and uncertainty as the basic stock in which it is brewed. Fanny Howe. Dearest Anne, some words came to me in my sleep last night. Do you ever read in your sleep? I've heard that it's uncommon, but I've been seeing letters, different alphabets, sigils on signs, on posters and floors. It's made me consider the poetics of dreaming and what output this direction of thinking can yield. I know this is not a novel thought, as many poets inhabit this realm. But what feels different is to think how this type of poetics could help create some understanding for us during this quarantine, where time moves at strange speeds, uncertain of any type of forward, where days become unlocatable, at times irreconcilable. This seems akin to the structure of slumber. I find my mode of being in these conditions has required a new relationship to order, one that is non-sequential and scattered. Can we call this dream time? I recall a conversation we had a few weeks ago about hypnagogic states, the word you taught me in that exchange, thinking about what it means to dip into the real of different spheres, what we keep with us when we return. Many times when you send me an email, it is in the late hours of the night, and I've started to wonder if we are corresponding from our hypnagogia, a liminal space, a threshold between the sublime and surreal of our quotidian realities. Anyway, the words that came were these: Vigila, vigila, vigil, love, Emma.
Dear Emma, yes, words come in dreams. The first was sluice, more recently trabant. When the word appeared, it was a water siphoning its lost power, sluice, a thing, a method, another century when we lured ourselves out of bondage. The scent of a nun's cell is where we had willed to go continue to see how tremor, myrrh, and smoke emerges. Are we late in the mind of something cutting? A trough, a tray, a purposeful structure, an invention that was helpful? I wanted to be utilitarian, had willed to go continue to see how the story would end, or just how it sounded when books were harder to come by, swoon by. We had to have will as we continued to see that we were falling down in our fields meditation. All this will pass, as will sluice, as we see it tonight across a scape of divide, my language or scythe. Please elucidate the country of language, and you will arm with poetic lineages before a term of tragedy, as will sluice, as will prisma, a kind of cult of mirror gazing. Adelante, Anne.
And now I'm going to read from the poem. The title is A Punch in the Gut of a Star, and in Catalan the translation is Un cop de puny al ventre d'una estrella.
A great credulity without demur. What drives the nations of the world is alienation from linguistic being, the uprooting of all peoples from their vital dwelling place in language. To filch in respect to plot, tragedy.
El que busquem dins del son és un lloc on poder cobrir-nos en llenguatge, evitar un espai on les paraules s'eixamplen com una manta, una llengua dolça, contra, separació aliena, un plaç de tragèdia, antígona emmordassada.
And flutter under scrutiny. Prisma, that was a word reached, as to see through, cried out in sleep, A world blighted, collapsed to conspiracy, etiology, to flinch, to flutter. He no hyacinth, he a loser with candor, a force of nature far flung.
Un pànic prismàtic a poc se'ns endinsa, col·lapsat. Veiem les seves espeses qualitats a través d'un desglaç. A poc la paraula es desfà. Sense donar-nos treva, la teologia agita. Un puny, un pla, la paraula es desfà. Amb força onírica d'una recolzada, paraula trobada en somni.
He wrung but was turned from women leaders of small governments. He was like me, wanting to understand colors. They were hybrid power. We said green, we said enough. Small protectorate, in a dream insular, turned to ask a question, find a word. A waiting room, a corridor, the hospital's sorrow. A warning to glow at edges. Was cord, was whip, an arrow, but the dream was vigilant. It was warning and a crowd of angry openings. Intrigue who comes down under weights, a vigilante. Poor devils.
I en els llocs on busquem, prat o passadís, petit protectorat, es transmet escanyat un crit. Des del somni, una volta, busca paraula. D'ençà brilla, parleja, amb anticipació, vigila, vigila, i espera la visitació del pas, de l'estona. Apareix el metge en premonició, vacila, vacila, en el domini més violent, pobres dimonis. Estels cauen com una llau.
She wanted to say Alhambra. She wanted to say in the visitation that the dream was in her because of tragedy, because of panic and fear, and someone needed to sleep, to make it be real. Real with responsibility, with command. Please no dawdle in being tested and being accountable, in being readiness is all. What is your weapon, if not word? Dismantelar. Take it down. In reverie it was words only, maybe a name, Sordello, maybe Eustache, saints whose tombs were opening wide tonight. In the falling it was warning, factotum, abrupt but don't run away. Episodes like decking out a star, falling like a warning in a sky of snow, a punch in the gut of a star. At you? Because it's this world's real? Or name Aurora, the place with detention center the size of ball stadiums. The name meaning aristocratic stillness, when you want humility in your nation at dawn. Wake up when you'd welcome pilgrimage, but a pillage come, and all you got is grimace from left, was heartfelt, was all you got. In the dream, the crowd was pushing against the flower girl, a maiden of automation, like a tuned replicant who's supposed to cry out but smiled, was all you got.